Deban.
Hey, William.
Hey, semi-final 2 of the Eurovision Song Contest 2020 would have happened next Thursday, that's the 14th, but sadly it's not taking place, but we can still go back and forth and have our predictions about who would have made it through. 18 countries, 10 qualifiers, and a lot of disagreements. Should we talk about it? Let's do this!
It's interesting you say that semi-final 2 would have taken place next Thursday, and of course it's not happening. I didn't actually think this video was going to happen because it's been like a week of back and forth and you backing out and me going, we couldn't agree, William, could we?
Well, no, I mean, the stresses of lockdown kind of contribute because you get pulled in all sorts of directions and it was hard to prioritize. But here we are, and we're going to do this video just like we did semi-final 1.
Who is out?
Right, so
let's just start with that.
Individually, each of us came up with a list. And this is not necessarily our favorite 10, but these are the 10 we thought would have made it through.
Hashtag no fear, who is out?
So when we put our list together, there were 5 countries that didn't make either of our lists. Doesn't mean we hate these songs, it just means we didn't think they would advance. So the 5 countries that were out, the first one was Austria.
You make me feel alive. You make me feel like I'm alive again.
Now look, I've said this before, I think he's a great performer. I really, think the track will appeal to a lot of people, but I think in this lineup...
No fear, they're out. Let's just.
We don't need to be so dramatic about it. Eurovision is a tough competition.
You know what? Then people need to bring their A game. We love everybody. I can see the tiara on your Skype head as we speak. Can we just keep it real? Who is out? Austria is out. Who's the next one?
The next one we both said was Poland.
Out!
Burning an empire happens so easy. Playing with fire. Maybe it's you and me.
Who's the next one?
No, but let's actually review this. People used to think that the diaspora vote would always carry them through, but we've seen in recent years that that's not the case.
It's out. Out.
I think it could have elevated with staging, both of these.
You know what? So can the cockroaches on my mantelpiece. I mean, really.
Oh, that's a bit much. I think that with proper staging, these both could have been borderline qualifiers.
Borderline qualifier is not a certain qualifier. We have more, William, right? Who's number 3? Who's out?
This is tough. Neither of us had San Marino.
Life goes by too quickly now, not to be freaking it out. Freaking it out.
And this
is that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought she would be on your list. You were raving about her a lot.
Oh, no. I do, and I still rave about her, and I would put her through. But I'm thinking San Marino historically struggles to get through. I think the visuals would have elevated this quite a bit, and it could have gotten in based on, obviously she can perform. But
Look at Tomasini.
That's the thing, but it's an unknown variable because we don't know what it would actually do. So we have to go based on the song. And at this stage, I would probably say it would struggle, which breaks my heart because I think she's amazing. But you know what? I think with Luca Tomasini, they could have probably elevated, but we just won't know.
I guess San Marino is probably the Cyprus of our earlier video of semi-final 1. It's on the cusp.
Yeah. And when you're on the cusp, it means you're close. The next one was Denmark.
Say no. Denmark.
Denmark, neither of us had this. I think it's a very sweet song and I really like it. I really, really like it. But I think in this semi-final, there are just a few more thrusting songs that may be a bit more memorable.
Almost doesn't count. And we have...
You're very Judge Judy today, just shutting everything down. Have you not had your coffee today? Oh.
Aqua, where's your Voda?
Slovenia is in the first semi-final, Hansi. The other country that we both agreed on, and I think this was the one we most agreed on, would it make it, was Portugal.
Sim, mas agora tenho medo de sentir.
Out.
I just
You know, it may hurt Bernardo Tavares Pereira, but we gotta keep it real.
It is tough. I mean, I don't think of all the songs, this was the one I was most confident would struggle. Lovely song, lovely singer, but for the Eurovision stage, it wasn't high impact enough.
Well, clearly, you're not riding your bicycle during this quarantine, are you? Because if you were, you would put Portugal through.
Does she have a bicycle?
No. Do you not remember you going on
Oh,
about...
yes. I do like the song, but there's a difference, Deban, between liking a song and thinking it would slay on the stage.
They're out. They're out.
In any case, now we're going to go through the countries that we both had on our list as countries we think would qualify. And
Can I just also point out, the countries that we're about to spit out, also based on the WUI jury, have comfortably made it through.
Yeah,
right?
there's six
so
of
I
them.
think it's not just a William and Deban list. I think it's fairly representative of the fandom of who we think would actually make it.
In this instance, yes. So there are 6 countries we both agreed on. The first was Iceland. Clearly. I mean, fan favorite with people outside of the fandom, catchy, memorable staging.
Not just qualification, possibly even victory. Iceland, you know, this was a lot of hype behind this, and lots of people really, really liked it. I think that this could have surprised everyone.
Yeah, this had good things on the horizon. And, you know, in all of these kind of substitute fan and broadcaster song contests, they've done very well in pretty much all of them.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Didn't it win one?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And didn't it come second in our WUI jury or third?
It was in the top 3 for sure. I think it was third. All right, the next country we both agreed on was Greece. Stefania Supergirl.
I'm a supergirl, supergirl, oh na na. In this crazy world, oh na na. I'm your supergirl, supergirl, oh na na. Fighting from the heart, oh na na. Yes, no.
Yeah. This is one that you love way more than I do. And even though I don't particularly warm to it, it would have made it. It would have made it.
I think in a sea of adult performers, her freshness really stands out. There's a joy with her performance. She's got a sweetness to her performance. And they had big plans for staging, which always helps. And yeah, I think it was all coming together for her. The notion of a Supergirl goes down well across borders.
Agree. What were the plans for staging?
I'm not revealing anything in case they want to do it next year. We're moving on. The next country we both agreed on, dry your tears, Bulgaria.
Eyes burn like sugar in my wounds, so I have sweet bruises.
Stunning.
Yeah, I'm lost for words. You know, and I can understand why the Symphonics team were like, are you kidding me? We have to write new songs? Because this is really brilliant. This is almost like the pinnacle of songwriting, production, artistry, and there was such an ease to it as well. Beautiful. This would have done really well.
Again, this was another potential winner.
Yeah.
If you look at the thought of their music video, apply that to the staging. I love the mix of kind of dark lyrics with this bright sound. It's more artistic than a lot of the songs in the competition. Plus, it was poppy enough to, you know, I don't want to use the word viral, but to go mainstream. You could see this doing well in different markets.
Absolutely. I really like this.
All right, the fourth country we both agreed on, it's Switzerland, La Suisse. I know you don't like the song, but even you have to admit, Deban, this is popular, this is qualité.
I mean, here's the thing. Yes, you're right. I'm not in love with the song, But hey, I still have to pick 10 countries, and I can't see this not being one of the picked countries. I think this would comfortably have done well. Would it have won? I really doubt it. But I think that it would have given a respectable result for Switzerland.
If you look, this is similar to Bulgaria. The music video here was so artistic, so quality, so much thought went into this. Apply that to staging. I think they would have given us something very artistic. Juries would have been blown away. People would have been impacted. The French language sounded beautiful. He can sing.
He's a great performer. He's a great performer. And, his backstory, gives a sense of warmth to the whole. Yeah. Yeah. And they're 10 to be picked. I mean, they're 10. It's not like you're telling me to pick 3. So, yeah, there is room for Switzerland. Definitely.
The next country we both agreed on, and we both believe in this. I think there will be some comments below. We said Armenia.
Oh, chains on.
Chains on you. I'm going to put them, boy, chains on you.
Keeping my diamonds on you. I'm keeping my diamonds on you. Keeping my diamonds on you. I got it just by my side. This is what I said to you.
You know what? I think people sometimes when they hear something with a hip-hop edge, something with an R&B edge, they think it's going to do bad at Eurovision. But this manages to make that genre very accessible to more people because of her, because of the staging. You know what? She's not trying to do Cardi B. She's trying to do Athena Manukin's take on this genre with some underlying Armenian traditional tones. Do you know what I'm saying? She's making it her own. And I just think the visuals of that music video, that should tell you everything. They had a vision here.
Besides that, I would refer our readers to the 10 facts about Athena Manukin article. I think people just need to have that whilst they watch her music video. 2 things stand out for me here. One is the revamp. Most of the revamps, I mean, even Betty Cristo, who I love, it got confusing. And ultimately, you tend to prefer the original version. Now, the revamp on Chains, way better than the original.
So good.
Clearly, her team were looking forward, climbing up the ladder, progressing, advancing. So I know, and I was super confident that in the Netherlands, they would have really done something visually out of the box. And then leads me to staging. The music video gave really strong hints and hues about what they were going to do. And I think their staging would have been so impactful. And she's fun, she's fresh. And yes, okay, for those who don't even like that genre, it was a good transition to break up the sea of ballads and dull songs. You need something that's going to kind of pop a little bit more. And that was the song that did that for me.
She wasn't standing on wood underneath the curtain. She was standing on a diamond. Okay, she literally made a stage, a diamond for a diamond. In any case, the next country that we both agreed on was Latvia.
Reaching for the stars, I'm knowing getting closer. Life is music, I am a composer. My dreams become so real with all the love I'm feeling. I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing. I will keep on going, I will keep on run until I reach the end.
Oh, hands down. And it's funny, it was one that I thought you'd actually left out. I was looking at my list.
I ain't gonna leave out my girl Samantha. I ain't gonna leave her out. This song slays. I think the issue, I think a lot of people worry the juries wouldn't go for this, but we need to remember Prodigy was one of the world's biggest bands, accepted by mainstream musicians with a similarly garage, fire, house, trance, what the heck is this sound, stood out from everything else. Her dancing, her singing, you gotta respect her voice. Juries have to respect that voice. Plus, this is so crazy, people would vote for it. Casual viewers, they would vote for it.
And it's funny, I can already see the comment section. Oh, since when does Samantha Tina sound like Prodigy? But it's not about comparing like identical sounds. It's about their vision and their artistry and being so out of the box and being so left field, even further left from left field. And Samantha Tina does tick all that. And the professionalism of how she delivers. Oh, God. This, for me, is a straight-up qualifier. I think Latvia would have done very well. I think that she would have made Latvia very proud. It's unfortunate that, despite multiple attempts, the year that she gets in is the year that she's actually not in.
It's rough going. So the final pick that we both agree on, the 7 we agree on, it's Georgia.
Why don't you love me? So tell me, why do you want
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think this is going through.
I think a lot of people have been
I go
sleeping on
through
this.
moments. Sorry?
A lot of people have been sleeping on this one.
Ooh, including myself. So I go through moments of really loving it, then I go through moments of being angry at it, but it does stir emotion and it does draw reaction. And I think we're talking 10 entries again, yeah, it's in. It's in.
It's in. I just think that it reminds me of Nina Sablati in 2015. People slept on the song and they saw the staging and it was like, wow. And we know from the Young Georgian Lolitas, they can work with this type of rock sound. SJB, Sacha Jean-Baptiste, did wonders on that. This would have slayed. These are in, honey. They are into the final. These are in, honey. Well, we each have 3 left. That's 8, 9, 10 for each of us, and we don't agree. So let's go back and forth. I think Serbia Hurricane is going through.
Hasta la vista, baby. Even though you climb, even though you climb. Hasta la vista, baby. You're stuck all down, you're stuck all down.
I just think we need a dance banger like this. And of the dance songs in this semifinal, this is the one that I think has the most universal appeal. I think Serbia would benefit from having, Moldova's here. They love fire, they love passion, they love dance. You've got Bulgaria, they love fire, they love passion, they love dance. I just think this would have done well. I think Hurricane is a rare combination of a girl group at Eurovision that works. They can dance, they can sing, they look great, sound great.
Yeah, it's not in my top 10.
But this isn't about your top 10. It's about the Europeans' top 10. You don't think this would have appealed to people?
No, I think that this would have been the fan favorite that didn't quite make it. I think this is the one that, and Euroclub, everybody's going to be dancing to and going, oh, wow, but didn't quite make it. This would have been Greta Salome. This would have been Valentina Moneta, Chrysalis. This would have been a fan favorite. This would have gone down in the history books as the song that, didn't quite make the cut.
Well,
seriously, there was just a lot of hype behind this, but you have to think about this. People vote for their absolute favorite, not songs they borderline like. And I just don't see this being the absolute favorite of anybody.
Well, my next pick was Finland. I think Finland would have gone through.
Chasing the high life, stuck in the low lights, but we never know what we have until it's over and we're looking back.
This song is so beautiful. It is so stirring. Juries would have loved it. When I hear it, I always want to listen again. And I think they had very tasteful staging in Finland that would have elevated when they got to Rotterdam. I can see a sort of a sickly look on your face. I know this is not everyone's cup of tea. But you have to respect the quality here, the vocal stability here, how his fragility becomes an asset.
Yeah, he's shy, fragile, almost apologetic. I think all that is sweet. He won the Voice of Finland. Clearly he can sing. But there's nobody really showing up with a bad voice. And, we're still talking about songs that would make a mark on you and be so memorable. Chasing the highlights, loving the low light. I don't see room for this in the final. In the grand final of Eurovision, no. And, let's also bear in mind, the countries that don't make it to the grand final don't have to be bad entries, But, it's not elevated enough for me to kind of say, okay, no, it wouldn't have made the grand final. Because even in the Scandinavian vote, it wouldn't be your top pick.
This is one of the sleekest, most polished songs of the year. The Nordic countries would have loved this. All right, we're moving on to my final pick, my other qualifier, Albania.
Fall from the sky, always making me hopeless. My wings when I'm destined to fly.
It's It's out.
Now listen,
Out.
I'm not a huge fan of the song. However, I think that she can sing really well. And if we saw anything at Festivali Kungis, it's that Albania can work with the song when it comes to staging. It looked amazing in Paleti I Congressi, which is not a very big space. And they made it look amazing. In Rotterdam, she would have taken flight. Our girl, her wings would not have been clipped. She would have sounded vocally amazing. She looks amazing, as you know from her Instagram. This would have been pow. This would have elevated.
Almost doesn't count. Yeah, it looks amazing, but there are like lots of amazing looking people in the show. That's one thing.
Looks, voice,
The
staging.
second thing is that the times when Europe has responded favorably to Albania have been times when they've sung in Albanian because it's such a beautiful language for Lee Mindere, and I'm
yes.
sipping on my Wiwibloggs. But, you know, this is a song that started life in English, was changed into Albanian for Festival de Ikungis, and then went back into English. It lost all the spark, lost all the magic, and the revamp, I was like, really, what did you do? This would have finished in the bottom reachings of Eurovision 2020. This would not have gone forward at all. This is one that I can put my pension on. That no, definitely, this ain't moving. It ain't moving.
All right, why don't we go to the other three songs in your pot? I think people by deduction would have figured them out, but go on.
You know, and let me just start by saying I'm surprised that these ingredients are just in my pot, particularly with Czech Republic, Bene Cristo. I can't believe William Lee Adams did not even pick that as a certain qualifier.
I wasn't born like that. I just work like that. 24/7. Keep my mind, you know. They can say what they want, you should let it go. Yeah. 'Cause tonight I was I showed them again and some mayo.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to do all this padding and massaging with aqueous cream. I'm just going to lay it out.
Listen, I love this song. I think it's great. I don't know how it would have gone down with the rest of Europe. The fact is, there have been several different versions. I do think he landed on a good one in the end. However, I just don't know if this could have made it through this semifinal.
Did you watch Vid Beer?
Yes, was that version 1 or 2?
That was version 3.
It was strong. The Vidbeer performance was very
That was
strong.
version 3.
But you know what? This is a strong semifinal, Deban. And so this is one of the ones, if we did a borderline segment, you could have put like half of my picks in that borderline segment.
Oh, yes. And then we can add Liechtenstein and Morocco. Listen.
I'm sorry. This is a hard semifinal. They're all, yeah, this is the easier semifinal.
There is nothing hard about this semifinal. We're talking 10 countries and you're telling me wouldn't have been picked?
I think
Next,
it
Mr.
would have been
was it.
between 8 and 12. It's tough. It's tough.
Almost doesn't count. Bene Cristo is in. Facts. Secondly, Moldova. Prison. Oh, let me tell you something.
I don't wanna be with you. I don't wanna be without you. I don't wanna be with you. I don't wanna be without you.
Dorados got a top 10 position with a song that wasn't even that strong, but was a visual spectacle. And I tell you what, if you'd gone back to what they did at Melody Pentru Europa, it's very different from, you know, I like how Moldova has a blueprint, but what you see on the final night is so elevated from what they first presented to you. This has that sort of 80s dynasty, you know, overly dramatic, beautiful. This harks back to the heritage of like Eurovision dramas, and vocally she's on fire. And the song really has this emotive quality. This would have advanced comfortably.
I love this song. As I've said many times, she's, you know, slaying old school dynasty to the Netflix dynasty. She looks great. I think it's a really interesting take on a love song. However, if you look at online social media comments, people are not feeling this like you and I are. I try to be realistic in saying who would qualify and who wouldn't. And the fact is, while I love this, this isn't about my taste. This is about who would have gone through. And I think a lot of people just think it's dated. And I know that's tough to take, Deban, because this is one of our darlings. But a lot of people don't like the song. And I think it actually came next to last or third from last with the Wee Wee Jury. Like, I was really shocked by that because this, to me, is one of
And Tom and Lynette came 33rd and then
Well,
ended
no-
up finishing in second
Yeah,
position.
because there was no staging at that point. The whole point is we have to judge based on what we can see. And people were not feeling this. I think she's a great singer. I think she looks great. In my mind, you know, when I first heard this, I was like, wow, this is a top 5 ballad. This is so original. This is so unique. But, you know, just looking around, people aren't feeling it. Even looking at the pre-show judgings, people aren't feeling it. So I think we may be the outliers here in loving it.
Well, maybe we are. One more I'm going to add to that, and this I know you don't like. I never imagined what love is. Estonia.
I never imagined the power. I never imagined the need. I never imagined what love is. Now love is all I dream.
I think this is going through. You know, it's funny. And one of the reasons I justify it was because of a story you told me where you sat next to Laura in Helsinki. And she was shocked that you didn't even think that it would win. She was like, oh, we all knew. Like, this is going through. Of all the songs this year, and not that I'm terribly in love with it, but the melodies, you can't deny that. It's undeniably, you know, like a solid hook. And it's beautiful. And I can imagine in a stadium setting and a stadium feel, you know, with candles or whatever cheesy staging they had in mind, this would have really taken flight. Certainly more memorable than Austria, definitely more than Finland or Poland. I think that there was love for this. And I think there's room for it.
I like the hook, definitely. But, you know, again, I think this song did come last with the Wee Wee Jury, actually. This was the lowest score of the year. Online, just reading comments, a lot of Europeans don't relate to this, and Estonia can't vote for itself at Eurovision. I do think the hook is excellent. I think the hook is very strong. It's one of the most hummed hooks in my head, anyways. Da 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 da. The XHOD Matt Normit, he thought this could have won the Eurovision Song Contest, actually. He thought this could have won Eurovision. It has its fans. I think it would have been a struggle to get to the final unless they had totally redone the staging, because the staging they had in Estonia was not ready to go.
The Estee Lauder staging wasn't very good. It was faithful to the music video, though, on some level. But
this isn't about faith to a music video. This is about making the final of the Eurovision Song Contest.
I get that.
And most people would not have seen the music video.
I get that. But fans of this song really do believe in it, actually. Almost to, you know, the point of victory.
Who are these fans? You?
Of Estee Lauder. You just told me about the HOD.
Outside of Estonia.
Babes, I know people who like this song.
Who? Pull out the emails. No, because I do like it, and but I do think, again, this is an instance where we're probably in the minority. I do think we're in the minority. If we take a cold hard look at the facts and the barometers that we have access to, I mean, you and I are like rah rah rah, but most people are like nah nah nah. That's just a fact. Sometimes the truth can hurt. Cool. So I think we have mentioned every single country.
Yeah.
Final question for you. Of the songs that you put out, who do you think would have benefited the most from staging in Rotterdam?
San Marino.
Yes.
San Marino. And, I think San Marino, I think we're locked on that on some level. Because it's interesting, because this was a tough decision, isn't it? It's taken us like a week. And I remember in your earlier drafts seeing San Marino. And then, of course.
The fact is, the qualities in all of these songs, even like the ones I put at my very bottom that I actually do like, but when you have to choose, you have to choose. Besides San Marino, which is my, you know, biggest one that could grow with staging, I think Czech Republic for me, I think his dancing in Vidbir shows what he can do. Vidbir, of course, is a smaller stage. And sometimes dancers get lost on vast stages. Who knows what they had up their sleeve or up their parachute pants for Rotterdam? but he knows how to move. He's got style. Yeah, I think that one could have, because as you know from an earlier draft, that was on my list. I was going back and forth. He did wear parachute pants in Vidbir, right? Am I making this up?
No. I don't. Were they parachute pants?
He has a very unique style, is the point.
Oh yeah, he's a cool kid. Is he coming back?
Well, they haven't said publicly what they're doing. I mean, countries with national selections are typically doing national selections, I think. So,
Well, you're quite close with the San Marinese delegation. Have you heard anything about Sydney?
I know nothing.
Or are you saying nothing?
All I know is this. I think most countries are waiting till coronavirus settles down because they rightly understand the priorities are elsewhere right now. And they don't even want to be, thinking about a music show. They want to focus on, a lot of these broadcasters are now 100% focused on getting out public health information, education. And so, people have different priorities at the moment. I totally get it. It's not that they don't love Eurovision. It's just that they have to reallocate resources.
And that's the fair statement.
In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? What 10 countries do you think would have qualified? And what 10 countries did you want to qualify? There is a difference. Let us know here on Wiwibloggs.
Right. Was this harder for you than semifinal?
This was a
one?
nightmare. This was a nightmare. Semifinal one is tougher in the sense that there are more, I think, heavyweights there. This one...
And we hit a record because we never agreed on 9 entries.
No, that was crazy. This one was impossible because
This was impossible.
it's so wide open. After the top 3 or 4 favorites.
Open up! Follow us on multiple social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Tumblr, Pinterest. We also have a podcast, which is available on Spotify, Apple Music, and all digital music platforms. And we will see you
later. Bye.